You will again distinguish between the righteous and the wicked, between the one who serves God and one who does not. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Don't fret when the wicked prosper, when they carry.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam Vayed, Adonai, Adonai, Yeshua HaMashiach Hu Adonai, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu, Yeshua HaMashiach Hu Adonai. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Shalom, beloved. This is Gavriela Folger with Prayer Closet Warrior. This will be our 4th episode, and this is going to be a 3-part series on tithing. The first part of this series is actually going to be the origin of tithing. And what I'd like to start out with is learning what the word tithe means in Hebrew. It comes from the word aser, which means 10. Now, me'aser means the 10th part, and that's where we get the idea of giving 1/10 of our increase. Now, in exploring the origin of tithing, I'd like to go all the way back to Genesis, Bereshit. This is where we hear the very first mention of Abram giving his me'aser to Melchizedek, which Melchizedek literally means my righteous king. There's much mystery surrounding Melchizedek, but we'll get to that in just a moment. I will be reading out of Genesis 14. We're going to start in verse 18. And it says, "And Melchizedek, sovereign of Shalom, brought out bread and wine. Now he was the Cohen of the Most High El. And he barach him and said, Baruch be Abram of the Most High El, possessor of the Shemayim and earth. And Baruch be the Most High El, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. And he gave him 1/10 of all." Now that was down to verse 20. Now what we see here is Melchizedek, he brought out bread and wine. Now that's very familiar to us, for those of us who have received Yeshua as our Savior and our Messiah. He gave us the bread of His body and the wine of His blood for eternal deliverance and salvation. So Melchizedek, being the very first priest ever mentioned in the scriptures, he is a Cohen of the Most High El, which means he is a high priest and the first ever mentioned as a high priest in the scriptures. It's very noteworthy to say that he brought out bread and wine. This is a sign of making a covenant. In ancient Hebrew culture, one would eat and drink when making an agreement or a covenant with another party. Now, if we keep reading, it goes down here and says, "And the sovereign of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the people and take the goods for yourself. But Abram said to the sovereign of Sodom, I have lifted my hand to Yahuwah, the Most High El, the possessor of the Shemayim and earth, not to take a thread or a sandal strap or whatever is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich." Now what we see here is that a wicked sovereign, the sovereign of Sodom, or what you might know as Sodom, as in Sodom and Gomorrah, the king of Sodom came out and said to Abram, "Look, just give me the people. You can keep all of the riches yourself." And Abram said, No way. I have lifted my hand to Yahuwah, the Most High. This, beloved, was a sign of covenant. Abram did not take what the wicked king offered him because he was already in covenant with my righteous king, Melech Sadek, Melchizedek, the Most High Priest of God. What I'd like to point out here is this is way before even the tent of meeting or the holy temple or any kind of structure that we read as far as making sacrifices. At this point, there is no priesthood except Melchizedek that's in order. So was it that Melchizedek needed Abram to give him the 1/10? Surely he didn't need it for his own food or sustenance. He was the sovereign. He was the king of Shalom, which later was renamed Jerusalem, by the way. So he's the first king mentioned of Jerusalem before it was Jerusalem, which I think is really kind of neat. But what I'd really like to point out here, beloved, is that Abram needed to give this to Melchizedek to take covenant with the Most High God. He gave a 10th part of the spoils that he plundered, specifically to show God that I am recognizing your power in my life. I am in covenant with you, and I shall take sustenance from nowhere else. Beloved, what it means to be sadek, or righteous in Hebrew, actually means to spurn ill-gotten gain, which means that all of the possessions and the wealth that we have doesn't come from wicked means or the world. It directly comes from Yahuwah, and we reject all other kind of sustenance because we don't need any other provider except the great provider in our lives. So, for the origin of tithing, as part 1 for this episode, I would like to greatly point out that the origin of tithing has the foundation of covenant. Covenant means, in Hebrew thought, when both parties are saying to each other, everything I have is yours. So Abram was telling God, everything I have is yours. That's some food for thought. From my prayer closet to yours. Please tune in next week for part 2, which will be the promises of tithing. Shalom Aleichem.
Yevarechech Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yihunecha. Yis Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. Yis Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. Amen. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to Aaron and his son, saying, This is how you barach the children of Israel. Say to them, Yahuwah barach you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you shalom. Thus they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I myself shall barach them. Did you enjoy the show? We hope so. For more information, please visit us online at http://prayerclosetwarrior.wix.com/prayerclosetwarrior, also seen at the bottom of your screen. Do you need prayer? Let me know on our website, and I would be honored to pray with you. Like the music at the beginning and end of the show? For more information on the talented artist Kol Tehora, please visit our website and click on the Kadoshim page. Toda for watching, beloved, from my prayer closet to yours. Shalom.
It's the right